Good morning, everyone. The time now is 11:30. I am Kenny Ward. I met many of you last week at our first kickoff event, and so I'm excited about today and launching of this new Lunch and Learn series where we're working on your professional development and your soft skills. So for those of you who did not meet me on last Thursday, I'm Kenny Ward. I am the Director of Talent for the Montgomery Chamber, and I am the host for this summer 2025 River Region. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to have you with us today. I think we have a session today that will be very beneficial to you. I have with me today Tasha Carter, who is the CEO and co-owner of Maximize Growth LLC. And they focus on empowering leaders to develop self-awareness, foster authentic communication, and create stronger, more cohesive teams that thrive through trust and collaboration. So we only have an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of the way and give it over to Tasha to talk, and I'll make her the host. Thank you all for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kenny. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. Is it good morning still? Good morning, everybody. So glad to see your names and faces on here, and we are going to have an engaging hour. So today we're going to be talking about networking. But before I get started, I love interaction and I love to see who's in the room. So will you indulge me? You can in the chat, you can comment, or if we have any brave souls that want to take yourself off mute, I would love to know when you think about networking, what is the thing that comes to your mind? Is it a word? Is it a phrase? Is it an excitement? Is it a fear? Anyone that's brave enough that wants to take themselves off mute, please indulge me. Or if you want to put in the comments, when you think about networking, what is the first thing that comes to your minds? And I would love to hear from you all. Community. Okay. Okay. Miss Mila says, I think about a networking event. Okay. Okay. Good stuff. Anyone else? Interaction. Love it. Talking to people. Thank you, Miss Montana. Awesome. Awesome. With networking isn't about who you know, but who knows you. Okay, Eronia. Okay. Movements. Love, love, love. Okay. So as we have this conversation today, I see talk and good connection with people. I want you all to think about some of the things that you're saying. And my goal today is to help you reimagine networking. I want you to look at it from an opportunity standpoint. Anybody by a show, well, I don't see everybody's face, but is there anybody that you think about networking and you get scared or you get nervous? Put a yes or a no in the chat. Do you get scared? I see you, Mila. Mila says yes. Okay, LaPorche says no. Okay. Okay. So we've got a mixed group today, Kenny. I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. Like I said, thank you, Kenny, for introducing me. I am passionate. I'm Tasha. I'm co-owner of Maximize Growth, and I am passionate about helping people grow and reach their fullest potential. So today, I want to take you to networking and help you to reimagine how you can make this an opportunity for you. Kenny, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to really understand the value of networking. We're going to talk about some common barriers that prevent people from really excelling and reaching their potential when it comes to networking. But we're going to talk about how to use this as a tool and an opportunity to build lasting connections and how to make your next move. And I want to congratulate you for being a part of Fuel Alabama because what you're doing by being a participant this summer is you're literally investing in yourself and you're positioning yourselves to be in rooms and spaces and places where you can do just that, and that's network. So, what is networking? So, one of my mentors, Dr. John Maxwell, who's a leadership guru, he says networking, it's the process of making and nurturing connections with others to benefit oneself and the people around you. He also talks about this is a great way to form genuine bonds, genuine relationships, friendship, whether it's professional, personal. It's a way to share your knowledge and your resources and being open to learn from others. Because how many of you all know networking can be mutually beneficial? It's not just about you getting. It's also about what you can offer to your sphere of influence. It's a way that you can use the opportunities to learn from other people to support your goals, to support your growth. And networking is not just limited to our professional world. Did y'all know that? Networking is all around you. So, when we talk about networking, I want to break it down between internal networking and external networking because I love to think that we have a personal and a professional side. And at the end of the day, all of it is our world. So when we think about internal networking, I think about inside of an organization. You all right now are interning inside of an organization and you're learning a skill set, you're learning the professional world, professional development, life skills, right? But this is a powerful opportunity for you to learn from the organizations that have said to you, we see enough value in you that we want to partner with you this summer. The chamber is an organization that you have mutual benefit from because not only are they pouring into you, but you're showing up as adding value to the chamber. Am I right, Kenny? Okay, so this is an opportunity to learn internally within your already sphere of influence. It's an opportunity to collaborate and build rapport with people. So not only are you learning from your organization, you're learning from the chamber, hopefully you make some connections where you learn from each other as well. And you build rapport with people inside of Fuel Alabama. But it's always an opportunity to grow. These are just a few things on the internal side that you can take advantage of. But let's talk about external because external networking happens in social settings too. How many of y'all know when we go to events? Because I think Mila mentioned networking is like going to an event. You can be networking at a ball game. You could be networking in the grocery store. You can be networking in so many different places because at the end of the day, it boils down to, I'm going to go back to what my mentor said, making and nurturing connections with others that benefit them and benefit you as well. Networking is also about advocating for yourself. How many of you all struggle with introducing yourself? Indulge me for a minute in the chat. How many of you love introducing yourselves, and how many of you are like, oh my gosh, I have to introduce myself, and you have like all this fear surrounding you? And I don't see the chat, so Kenny, if you can help me out, and
Got it. We have yes, I love to introduce myself. I struggle introducing myself.
okay, okay. So we got everything in between. So we're going to talk today about a way that you can introduce yourself that takes the fear away. Now, I'm lying. You're probably still going to be nervous, but here's the thing. I have this model that I say, do it afraid. And so I'm going to give you a formula today that even when you're nervous, your heart's beating fast, your palms are sweating, I'm going to give you a formula that you're going to be able to use, rinse and repeat to be able to advocate for yourself. And then at the end of the day, you're going to be able to add value to people because one of the things that networking is not, it's not begging. You're not begging anybody for anything. You're not using people. So networking is not this manipulative tool that just because you go to an event or you're wanting to grow and you're using people, it's not that at all. It is not transactional. And how many of y'all know transactional can feel not real, right? Anybody ever, and don't say any names, please, but anybody ever had a conversation with somebody and you felt like they don't really see me, they just want something from me? And you don't want to be that kind of person. You want to be the kind of person that when people see you come in or when they hear your name, they associate you with somebody of value that loves to give value as well as receive. So it's not just receiving and it's not just giving, it's a balance of both. Are y'all tracking with me so far? I see someone says, yes, I had that experience. Okay. Okay, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So let's talk about some of the benefits. We talked about what it is, and we talked about aspects of using it inside of your companies as well as inside of your sphere of influence. And we talked about the external. But let me break this down even more. So here's some professional benefits of networking. One is job opportunities. Right now, again, I'm going to keep saying this. You're in an amazing position because you have a company that saw value in you that said we want to give you an opportunity to grow here. You have an organization like the Chamber of Commerce who created this whole program to add value to you. And at the end of it, what you're doing is you're building a portfolio so that when you graduate from college, these are things that will help you. They will open up doors for you. They will introduce you to people. So, job opportunities is a great benefit. The other one is professional guidance. Because one of the things that you have access to is you have access to a network of people who can pour advice into you. They can give you wisdom. When you have questions about certain things, you literally have a sounding board through your community. So, professional guidance is definitely a great benefit. And then increased visibility. Networking is one of those things that you have to engage with people. It's not one of those things that you can hide behind a phone. You can't hide behind a computer. There is an ingredient that is necessary, and that is people. And so there's increased visibility because it helps you to stand out and it helps you to get noticed. Even if you're doing fantastic work, you could be the best intern ever. You show up, you check the boxes, and you produce your work. You still cannot avoid people. Are y'all listening to me? And so that's one of the things that is a great benefit because it gives you visibility. So, visibility when it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to people looking for mutually beneficial people, at the end of the day, you become top of mind. And the other part of it is learning opportunities. You don't just learn in your classes, which is great, and kudos to you for pursuing your professional education. You should, right? But you also get to learn real life experience. Because how many of y'all know you can read in a textbook about a scenario or a case study, but then when you are literally at a job where you're interning, for example, there's real life examples that come up and it's priceless. So those are some of the professional benefits. But there's personal benefits to this as well. Lifelong learning. I'm at a stage and age of life now that I didn't realize how much I would love learning. And a lot of times, I love books. If you see my office, if you see my house, I love books and I love reading. I love learning from books, but I love talking to people and learning from people. And I love asking questions and being surrounding myself with people who are smarter than me. Anybody ever heard this term? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yeah. And so you want to surround yourself with people who know more than you. I believe that networking is a great way to build confidence. Can I let you in on a little secret? When I was growing up, I was extremely shy, y'all. Extremely. If you would have told that earlier version of me that I would be doing speaking and training and coaching, standing in front of people, standing in front of audiences, advocating for myself, I would have said, "You're lying, not me." But there's something about networking that the more you do it, the more you build your confidence. I'm not going to say the easier it becomes because there are challenges. Sometimes you think you've mastered it, and then next year in another room that challenges you even more. But it's a good challenge. Are y'all listening? It's a good challenge. And so it's a great way to boost your confidence for all of my people on here who said, I am scared of networking. I'm scared of introducing myself. Stick with me, okay? The other thing it can do is it gives you different perspectives of life. How many of y'all know we're all different? We're wired different. We think different. We could all be from the same area, the same neighborhood, even the same family. But how many of y'all know it's necessary for us to have conversations with people who think different from us, who have different vantage points, who have different perspectives? And networking gives you the amazing opportunity to introduce yourself to new atmospheres, new environments, and all of this is part of the growth. And sometimes you're going to want to intentionally remove yourself from your comfort zone. If you're surrounded by people who they all think like you, they're all like everybody's doing the same thing, you're not really expanding and growing yourself like you really could. And then it strengthens your relationships. And again, many of you probably have experienced this right now in your internships where you've had to work with people. Anybody? By a show of hands or put yes in the chat, you've had to work with people because I hate to admit this, we don't know everything. Did you know that? We don't know everything. So it's important that we surround ourselves with other people because somebody else might be really gifted in another area that their gift and your gift together is amazing and it complements. So these are just some of the benefits from networking itself. Now, the other thing I want to point out is there are some common obstacles. There are some things that keep us from showing up or keep us from speaking up. And we have to acknowledge this as we have this conversation about networking and what it is and what it isn't. And we have to be real about this because I have this strong belief when we can identify the fears, when we can identify the obstacles, we can do something about it versus going into avoidance mode. And when we go into avoidance mode, we have the potential to ignore things and it stifles our growth. And then we stop saying yes to opportunities. We stop showing up in places where we can increase our visibility. We stop advocating for ourselves. So these are just a few obstacles, but as I share these, I would love to hear what you think some obstacles are and what prevents us from truly networking. So let's talk about the first one, fear of rejection. And can I tell you something? I was honest with you when I said I haven't always been here. I was the shy person that people literally would say, does she talk at all? Does she say anything? And a lot of times, the reason why I didn't say anything is because I was afraid of being rejected. I was afraid if I say something, is it going to be the right thing? Will they think I'm stupid? Like, maybe I should just stay in my little comfort zone. And it cost me some opportunities and it cost me some time until I woke up. Okay. So fear of rejection is real. Not knowing what to say, I just spoke into that. Sometimes we feel like, well, I don't know what to say. But I'm going to share with you some things that can help you improve your small talk. Because what that happens a lot of times is we don't know what to say because we feel like, well, what will they think or what will they say? But there's some things you can do as you are in college right now. There's some things that you can do to educate yourself, not just on your textbook stuff, but educate yourself self on what's happening in the news right now from a positive, progressive, solution-oriented place. Okay. I'm not talking about complaining about things. I'm talking about how can we be solutions oriented. There's certain things that you can do, like have a hobby. Did you know that having a hobby or having interest outside of work can actually make small talk very interesting because then you can find connection points with people. Do you know people bond over pets? They bond over college sports teams. Hello. There's all kind of things that you can bond over, and the way that you become interesting is become curious about life and invest in your hobbies, invest in your interests. So when it comes time for you to show up at a networking event, it doesn't have to feel foreign or at or anything. You can literally look for what is the thing that connects us. Ladies, it could be something as simple as I love your shoes. Connection point. I see the head nods. Sometimes we think lack of time. And I'm here to tell you that no matter what industry you're pursuing, no matter where you end up in life, we are all in the people business. And we need to make time for people. We need to make time for the things that I'm sharing with you today about becoming interesting, pursuing hobbies, so that when you become, when you're in a work environment, and I'm even speaking to those who one day you want to start your own business, these are some things that you can develop right now to overcome the obstacles. Now, I've shared three. I would love, again, if there's anybody that wants to take yourself off mute or you want to put in the chat, what are some obstacles that you think of when it comes to networking? Any brave souls want to share, or does anyone have anything to share in the chat?
It may not be a popular one, but I have a physical disability, so some obstacles for me would just be um, like limitations on my physical mobility. They may not be
Gotcha.
convenient for me.
Sure, sure. I appreciate you going first and I appreciate you sharing that because that's real. That's real. And there's some things I'm going to use. Is it Azaria? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I'm his wife, Drakesha, but
Lakeisha, I'm
we're on his
sorry.
phone. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Uh, he's here as well as area.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate what you shared because that's real. You know, a lot of times we have the physical or certain things that prevent us. And one of the things that we can do is start where we are. You know, start with where we are, with what we have, and the smallest things can help us build confidence. So one thing could be, you know what, I'm gonna start showing up. That could be the first hurdle, is just I'm gonna start showing up. The second thing is look for those connections. When we'll use an event, for example. I know the chamber had a networking event this morning. One of the things that is an obstacle is thinking that you have to work the room, thinking that you have to get as many cards as you can, to shake as many hands as you can. Sometimes the obstacle, and I'm speaking to what Miss Hawthorne said here, is just showing up and saying, you know what, today my goal is to make one solid connection and start where you are. Right? Let me see. There's more things in the chat here. Finding events to network with people in accordance with my area of study has been difficult. Hazel, I'd love to know what your area of study is. Um, Ms. Mitchell says not knowing where to look for opportunities, basically how to find natural places to network that don't feel clinical or robotic. I get that. And then status of life is an obstacle for communication. Y'all are bringing up some real stuff. This is really good. And here's the thing. I love that we can normalize the conversations about what the obstacles are, because if we don't normalize the conversation, if we don't address it, then we don't know how to improve. And y'all are on a good path right now just to be able to pinpoint and say, here's the thing that stops me, or here's the thing that can make me feel stagnant or afraid. When you can address it, then we can start thinking about what's the solution. What's the thing that we can do to overcome that? For example, Hazel, when she said the area of study. So this is where we can have conversations around, okay, so it might not be something that is the most popular, but what are some opportunities? I hope that makes sense. And keep the conversation coming. This is really good. I love it. So here's some key principles of networking. It's it's a way to build trust. And this is again going back to what I spoke about confidence. Trust yourself. Can we start there first? Trust yourself. Trust that where you are now in this phase and stage of life, you are ready. You are ready to show up. You are ready. The fact that you said yes, it wasn't just that the company asked you to intern, you said yes to the company. The opportunity is here. So you are ready. So trust yourself that you have something to offer. Trust yourself that you do have opportunities for growth. You do have opportunities to learn. So start there first. Just trust yourself to know that I'm here for a reason. This company invested in me. Fuel Alabama created this whole program for me. I'm ready. I am ready. The other part is when it comes to key principles is knowing that you have something to offer. You do have something to offer. Hazel area of study, political science and philosophy. Love it. Jurisprudence, University of Alabama. Hazel, I'm just going to use you for example. The fact that you chose your major, and I could speak to everybody based off your major, there's a why behind that. There's a why. There's something that it spoke to you, it resonates with you. So sometimes the first thing you have to do to add value to people is just communicate your why. You never know how that can add value to people because some people are looking for people to invest in. Some people are looking for your major, your interest, your personality. So you do have something to offer. The other part of a principle is this. Once you show up, once you get over the hurdle and the fear and you show up, once you understand I'm here, I belong, I have something to offer, and you make a connection and you've bonded over, it could start with something very simple and then you find out you have mutual interests, follow up. Now, when I say follow up, what does that mean to you? When I say follow up, anyone? What does follow up look like to you? And again, if anyone wants to take themselves off mute, please feel free.
I can see it as a follow up email or even at the next event, reaching back out and just saying something that you remember from your last meeting. It kind of shows that you were actively listening. And that also builds that reputation and that connection with that person as well.
That is so spot on, Mr. Brown. So spot on. I love something that you just said is because there is going to be another time where you can connect with them. And sometimes following up, like what you just said, when you see them at the next event, is picking up where you left off. Maybe you found out that they have a pet, or maybe they have children or something. How's that going? How's that working? So I love that you acknowledge that. Keeping in contact, I see, follow up with the connections made, staying in touch. Exactly. And here's the thing. Right now, y'all have an advantage point because y'all have social media. You have your phones, you know, where back in my day, and I'm telling my age, all we had was limited ways to connect with people. LinkedIn is a great platform to build professional connections where you could literally, after a networking event, reach out to someone, connect with them, and you can do something as simple as saying, it was a pleasure meeting you today at the Chamber networking event. And you can maybe add a personal touch to that to say, I'm gonna go back to Hazel's. I love that you are pursuing political science and philosophy. It sounds very interesting. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be drawn out, but it's a touch point. And here's the thing, you don't have to follow up and do all of the touch points in one follow up. It's a connection, it's a touch point. And be consistent. If you can be consistent in the small things, guess what? That's what makes it easier. So you show up at an event, or hey, you might run into that person in the grocery store. You may run into them at a ball game. It's hey, how are you doing? And you just pick up where you left off. And now what you're doing is you're cultivating relationships, one connection, one touch point at a time. Are y'all tracking with me? Give me a thumbs up if you're tracking with me. Okay, I see you. All right. So remember, I said I'm going to give you all some practice on how to introduce yourself, right? So I'm gonna model this for you, and this is a way. It's not the only way, but this is a way that you can introduce someone that you've yourself to someone that you've never met before, especially at an in-person networking event or somebody at your place of employment, your internship now, or when you all get together and have your meetups through Fuel Alabama. This is a way, okay? So you're going to say your name And then you're going to introduce your role or your title. And then something optional could be maybe something, it could be a connection point or it could be something that you're passionate about. So I'll model. Hi, my name is Tasha, and I am the CEO and co-owner of Maximize Growth. And I am extremely passionate about helping people grow and reach their full potential. What did you hear me say? Anyone? You could say it in the chat or you could take yourself off mute. What did you hear? What did you pick up? And here's the reason why I'm asking you this is I want you to look for a connection. What did you hear me say that could be a connection point for you?
I heard you say that you're interested in helping people grow. And my name is Drakesha. I am a student at Troy University, and I'm also passionate about teaching and helping our next future generation grow.
I wish I was in person with you. I'd give you a high five because I love how you picked that up and ran with it. Y'all see what she just did? She heard what I said, and the way she acknowledged it and made connection was she voiced what I said, what stood out to her, and then she smoothly went into introducing herself. That literally is, and I know that might sound oversimplified for some, but how many of you all feel like that could be a starting place for you? That it's something that you're willing to try. Okay. And I see some head nods and I see hand raised. Okay. Does anyone else want to practice? And again, mutual opportunity. You can either do this in the chat or you can, any brave souls, you could take yourself off mute and just try it.
I'll go.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Arcelis Brown. I am a native of Montgomery, Alabama. Currently, I am a fifth grade math and science teacher, and I also serve on many boards throughout the city. I just started my master's program at AUM. I'm studying artificial intelligence. It's a pleasure to meet everybody.
Okay, Mr. Brown, high five. High five to you.
Mm.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was awesome. Who wants to pick up from where Mr. Brown left off and introduce yourself? And again, if you want to put it in the chat, the formula's on the screen. You can do it in the chat as well. Or any brave souls.
Good afternoon. My name is LaPortia Hunt Gillette. I am the owner of Fresh Start Pathways, and I would love to connect and reconnect with many of you that would like to reconnect.
Love it, love it, love it. And see, immediately when I heard you, it made me curious about your business. And that would be the follow-up question. And do you see how when people are talking, you're not just listening to say, okay, what can I get from them? What can I get from them? You're genuinely listening to because you're curious. And one question could lead to another point or another conversation. And I'm with you, Kenny. What is Fresh Starts? That would be my next follow-up. And do you want to expound?
Yes, Fresh Start Pathways is an agency. We are actually connected to the Pearl Academy, where we are looking for scholars, individuals that we're a homeschool, actually, a homeschool cover school,
Okay.
and we service 67 counties, helping students that are looking to gainfully get out of high school quickly. We are a fast track high school. Sometimes it is 4 weeks. Sometimes it is 2 weeks. It's dependent on the age. We do service individuals 15 to 99. And we have actually completed at least, I would say, 1,100 students across Alabama. We also have connections with the Alabama Public College and universities. So, where the individuals have completed the program, we actually transfer them, help them transfer over into any of those community colleges as well.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yes.
Mr. Brown, I see your point, and I'm definitely going to give you an opportunity. I actually want to do something right now based off of what she just shared. When you heard her speak, which was fascinating and it gave us great insight into her business, I want everybody, I'd love 100% participation. What's a follow-up question that you would ask her? And again, this is hands-on training right now on networking, but what's a follow-up question that you would ask her? And then, Mr. Brown, I'm going to come to you after we do this, okay? But everybody, I would love you to either take yourself off mute and say this or in the chat, what's a follow-up question that you would ask her based off of her introduction? Okay, okay. What inspired you to do that? Come on now. I love it. Anyone else? What's a follow-up question? What made you interested in this program? Love it.
I will answer those. There are a lot of students that are bullied, and that is one main thing. And our platform is smaller. So the individuals that are bullied, they are able to connect with us and actually do all of their work in their own home because we are also virtual. So therefore, it makes them comfortable to where they are able to achieve many other goals and also complete our program successfully. And their grades actually accelerate.
Love it, love it. And see,
Mhm.
do you see how this can work, you all? And I love these questions that are coming in. This is how you take a connection point and now you can cultivate this into an opportunity that hopefully after the meeting, you continue to follow up. And this is literally how it works. I'm going to allow Mr. Brown, and we'll do one more with him. Mr. Brown, introduce yourself. And as he's talking, and now, Mr. Brown, I want you to remember. I don't know if you've ever heard of elevator pitch. So as you're introducing yourself, you want to pretend like you're getting ready to ride, you're getting on the elevator and ride up to the top floor. And I want you to think about your introduction. While Mr. Brown is talking, I want y'all to be thinking about what are some follow-up questions that you can ask him. Okay? Go for it, Mr. Brown.
Hello, everybody. Once again, I am Arcellus Brown, and I'm introducing my company, Legendary Grilling. So, what we are our vendor and catering service that differs from most others. Most people believe of cooking and then bringing pans. Well, I bring the grills themselves. We allow you to make your own menu. You choose the meats or different things pre-hand. I season them, come to the site, and grill everything right there in front of you. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. It's a college fraternity that is known for grilling and such other things. So I've taken one of my prior experiences and built upon it now today.
Okay, okay, awesome. Were you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Good job. Good job. Love it. All right. Now, he's just introduced himself to you. What is a follow-up question? And again, I would love 100% participation either in the chat or anyone want to take themselves. What's off mute? What's a follow-up question that you can ask him? Y'all are doing great.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Brunson. I wanted to ask, what are the limitations of the business? How far would it go? Is this a subsidiary? Um, Basically, like, how far could this business be catered? Would it stay in town, out of town, anywhere?
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. And Mr. Brown, for time's sake, I would love like those of you who are interested because he was very brave to share, as well as Miss, am I saying this right, LaPortia? Okay, so again, these are great opportunities for you to follow up. I'm dropping some seeds for y'all to follow up. So these are great questions. So after this is over, I'm actually going to challenge y'all to follow up with each other. Okay. So great, great job that y'all are doing. Okay. And I wish we had more time, but I just wanted to kind of give you an example of how this works. All right. Was that helpful? Just by, you can say a show of hands or put yes in the chat. Was that helpful? Okay, I see your thumbs up. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, um, let me go here now. One of the things I told y'all I love to read, I love books, and I'm always trying to educate myself because I want you to understand the shy girl that I used to be, the fear that I had of introducing myself and putting myself out there. One of the things I had to do in order to be confident in showing up was educate myself. And so I started reading about how to be a networker. I started educating myself about how to be a people person, how to add value. This didn't just automatically, I just grew into this. I had to be very intentional about this. So this is one of my favorite books called The Go-Giver. And this is written by, you see the book on the screen, I mean the I want to just share some nuggets with you. And when I get through sharing these nuggets, I'm actually going to give you some homework. Okay. And that's just who I am as a trainer, as a coach. I don't just like to give people information. I like to give you something that you can do, you can implement. Okay. So, some principles from this book on how you can improve your networking. The first thing is be focus on giving, not getting. Many of you have heard the term go getter, right? He's a go getter, she's a go getter. This is an opposite term. Being a go giver means that I'm focusing on giving. So when I meet somebody at a networking event, I'm not just giving them my business card, I am giving them an opportunity to be heard. Did y'all catch what I just said? Because it does matter what you're giving, okay? And I'm not looking for somebody to just give to me and so I can get. I'm looking for who can I add value to? Who can I make a connection to? It's a mindset shift. The other one is the law of value. And that just means that your true worth is determined by the value that you bring to the marketplace. For you, you're in a role as an intern. And yes, it's an amazing growth opportunity, amazing learning, but you do bring value. You do. And the value that you bring, hopefully, no matter how long you're with that company, whether it's the summer or whether you're with that company for the year, by the time you leave, they should say, "Man, our company was better because they were here." Right? The law of compensation, this is for all my business people in the room, but at the same time, this could be for those who are working for someone and you get a chance to really understand that the value that you bring could impact your income. Can we be honest? It could impact your income, and it's directly proportional to the value that you bring to the marketplace. How are you showing up? How is your attitude? When things are asked of you, do you go above and beyond or do you do the bare minimum? You literally have a say-so in this. The law of influence states your influence is directly proportional to the value that you bring to others. Following up is a way to add value. Looking for the connection points is the way to add value. I love Mr. Brown and Miss LaPortia, how you all raised your hand and said, I'll speak up, I'll say something. You added value to this conversation today. Can I be honest with you? And everybody that posted a question on the chat, you added value to this experience today. The law of tongue-tied here, I can't even say it. Somebody said that word for me. Receptivity. There we go. Um, I'm human too at the end of the day. It's basically about be open to receiving in order to give effectively. So, as much as we want to give and we want to add value to people, do you know that you also have to be open to receive? But here's the beauty of this. When you give value to others, a lot of times when people give back value to you, it may not be from the same places that you poured into. So when you show up at an event, when you show up for your job, when you show up to network, whether it's a meet and greet, and you're looking for ways to add value to people, do you know one, people are always watching. And they're looking for the people who have the best attitudes. They're looking for the people who are the most intentional. They're looking for people who are flexible. And at the end of the day, when you sow that seed, you can expect to receive from different sources. You never know. It could be the person who's watching you at the networking event and they're getting ready to hire somebody and they say, you know what? I see this person consistently showing up with an amazing attitude. I'm curious enough to ask them because that person is what I need for my organization, or this person is what I need for my team. You just never know who's watching. Give without expectation. And another way to say this is give without keeping score. Remember when I talked about what networking is not? It's not transactional. It's not, let me do just enough so I can get. It's, I'm going to give without keeping score because I know that the more that I become a go-giver and I have that mentality, whether it's I'm giving a smile or I'm giving an introduction, at the end of the day, I'm going to receive. I am. I'm going to be visible. I'm going to all of the things, but I'm not doing it as a tip for tat. Do y'all understand what I mean when I say that? Okay. And then focus on other people's needs. I loved how when Mr. Brown and Miss LaPortia introduced themselves, the things that you all were curious about added to the conversation. So what we were doing was we were adding value by asking more of them. And I love how Mr. Brown says, I have social media where you can find me. What we did was we drew out his gift and we drew out, because I love how you said, Mr. Brown, I have a business too, but this opportunity was here because the space was created. And again, everybody contributed to this. The other thing is build relationships, not transactions. I talked about this already. People can tell when you're not interested, you're just going through the motions. They can tell when they're being treated like a transaction. And you know how I know? Because you can tell, can't you? You can tell. And so we don't want to be transactional people. This world that we live in right now, we need people who care about people. We need people who want to make a difference. And I have a feeling that I'm sitting in a room, a virtual room full of people who you're not just here to check a box. My belief is that you're here because you do want to grow yourself and you want to be a person of value. So when you show up in your communities, when you show up at school, you're literally the kind of person who's a lighthouse. And how many of y'all know we need more of that? And then the last thing is the most valuable gift is yourself. And remember, I said I brought this resource up because in order for me to be in position of business, I've been in business for 20 plus years as an entrepreneur. In order for me to be in a place where I can speak, I can coach, I can train, a lot of this is because I get to do this from the overflow. Everybody understands when you fly on an airplane and they go through the instructions and they say, put the mask on who first? Why do they say put it on yourself first? Anybody?
Before you can help someone else, you have to help yourself.
That's right. That's right. And what you're doing, my friends, by being in school right now, what you're doing by interning, what you're doing by being a part of this Fuel Alabama program, you are helping yourself and you're positioning yourself. And so while you're here, again, like I said, I don't want you just to come and absorb information or check a box. How will this summer be different for you? How, when you go back to literally when you hang up from this and you go back to your job or you go back to school for those that are out for the summer, how will you show up differently and be a go-giver? Now, before I move off of this, is there any one particular point that stands out to you from this list of what I just shared? Was there one particular one that you said, you know what, that's the one I'm going to hone in on? Anyone?
What you said about receptivity, just listening. I once heard that the more you let someone talk about themselves, the more they'll like you. So just not being the one that's always talking, but just, actively listening and genuinely caring about what someone else has to say, because you never know how that's going to come back around. And that person will, maybe want to reward you or just, you know, shout you out for that, however that may come around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. You never know, because we're in a place where everybody has the need to be seen, valued, and heard. Everybody. And when you can position yourself to be that for others, again, opportunities are in abundance for you because how many of y'all believe we have a shortage of this in our society? Anybody agree? We have a shortage of this. So I hope you join me in saying, I want to be the difference. I see here, Mila says, give without expectation. Isaiah says, the last one, yes, ma'am, and listening. Yeah, good stuff. I hope that if you like to read or if you like to listen, because this is on Audible, it's done in a story format, that you add this to your tool of resources because it's an absolutely amazing resource. So, like I said, I don't want to just come and give you information today. I want to actually give you something that you can do with this. Has this been helpful so far? Just checking in. Okay, I see your head nods. So, one of the things I want you to do, and this is something that's between you and you, is create your 5 networking map activity. Okay. And this is where, remember, I talked about internal and external connections. So, in your workplace where you're interning right now, or even here within Fuel Alabama, we can count that as internal. I want you to list 3 people that you want to solidify or create a connection with from a professional development standpoint. And then I want you to think about, do you have some external hobbies or activities? It could be in your church. It could be you play sports, or maybe you play an instrument, or maybe you're part of sorority or fraternity. What are some external connections that you can make? And once you list them, but one, that creates an awareness. Then I want you to think about what's a next step that you can take with them. One possible next step, and I'm gonna give an example, and then I'm gonna take some suggestions from you, could be maybe you haven't followed up with them. Maybe that's your next step, is just a follow up. One follow up could be, this is just an example, with your job that you have right now. Who's mentoring you on the job? Or maybe you have somebody that's not physically there, but one next step on how you can network with them is just send them a thank you card. That's a touch point. But I'd love to hear from you. You don't have to tell me who you have on your list, but I'd love to hear, what is a next step that you can take with that person. And as you answer, you're going to help other people as well. Love that. Invite them to lunch. Yes, yes, yes. And here's the thing, Miss Hawthorne, I want you to think about this. When you invite them to lunch, have your notepad ready. Have some questions that you already have prepared. And there's no shame in saying whether it's a notepad or whether you like your phone, the digital or tablet, whatever your jam is, okay? But have some questions already that you can ask them, because that speaks to your point of what you said. Sometimes people like to be heard, right? I love it. Anyone else? Again, your response is going to help somebody else. Being supportive by sharing information to the public or community. Yes, ma'am. Y'all have these platforms called social media that you can use for positive and progressive. Instead of being the one that's talking about the Diddy trial or talking about what's happening here, there, and everywhere else that is spreading all the negativity, use it. Yes, Kenny, I like that word. Use it for influence. Maybe you're sharing what you're reading, or maybe, hey, you share, I was on this amazing webinar today and I learned networking. Here's a tool that I want to share with you, and tag Fuel of Alabama, Fuel Alabama, I'm sorry, tag Fuel Alabama, tag the Chamber of Commerce. Yes, yes, and yes. Let me hear from one more. What is something that you can do that can be a next step? Keep it coming. Y'all are doing great. Okay, I don't see anybody in the chat, but I'm going to give you one more freebie, okay? You can look at the list that you created, and sometimes you can introduce people to each other, and that's a way to network because you can be known as a connector. And that's a great reputation to have because you become resourceful. And so I'm going to use Mr. Brown and Miss LaPortia, for example. They shared some things about their business. You may have been thinking about people that, oh, so and so could benefit from this. Let me introduce them to each other. Now, that doesn't take away from you at all. You introducing people to people doesn't take away from you. It actually makes you more significant. And again, that's where building your confidence and understanding the power of your influence comes in handy. So I challenge you to do that and think about your next steps. And then I also want you to do this. I want you to think about what is one networking goal that you can do this week. I know some of you, the chamber had a networking event this morning. I know our intern went to it, but I want you to think about based off of what we shared today, some of your ahas or some of your reminders, things that you can put into practice and play. What's a networking event that you can do this week? And it might not be a physical event. It might be showing up. This is part of it right here. It could be following up with somebody that's been on this call or some of the things that were already suggested, like inviting to lunch or being supported. It could be something as simple as like what I mentioned, sharing a nugget that you learned on this webinar. And Kenny, is there a hashtag? For Fuel Alabama.
Hashtag Fuel Alabama.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. That's simple enough. Right? Um, but set a goal. Set a goal. And the way that you're going to be good or become better is put it into practice. Okay. Yes, I love that. D. Gibby says interact with the post from the Chamber of Commerce. Yep. Share a post. Yes, to all of these things. And then they don't call it social media for anything. There's some things that you can do to make some connections. So again, these are things that keep you top of mind. I'm going to stop right here and just ask, based off of what I shared today, does anyone have any questions? I know we got about 3 minutes. Any questions, comments, ahas, or what is a takeaway that you have from today? And again, you can put it in the chat or you can say it out loud. And while I'm waiting on your questions, I want to thank you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your investment in yourself. You have blessed me by showing up and engaging. And I love that you are progressing. If you want to stay connected with me, my information is I'm gonna put my email in the chat here. If you have a question about anything, like I said, I've been in business for 20 something years, probably older than some of y'all, but I love networking. I love challenging people. I love helping people to grow. If you want to check out our website, maximizegrowthllc.com, we're always looking to add value. And if there's a way that we can add value to you in your career, in your college career, as well as maybe questions that are from a professional standpoint, we would love to help you. We are partnering with the chamber, so we hope to see you again. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to read some of the follow-up, some of the takeaways here. Follow up and don't be afraid to meet new people. Do it afraid, even if you're nervous. D. Gibby said not to be scared of networking. I love it. I love it. Networking is not something to be feared. It's an opportunity to be gained. Eronia says, where I am now is valuable. You better know it. You better know it. Yes. One of the things I love is feedback. So if you would do me the honors, I have a QR code on the screen. If you would do me the honors, because I'm always looking to grow. And if there's some feedback that I can learn from you, because do have value. You do have value. I'm going to go with Eronia's comment here. You do have value. So would love your feedback. And Kenny, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I'm gonna turn it back over to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the session. Interns, how did you enjoy? Can I get a thumbs up? Good, positive feedback. I want to do something real quick. You all know that I'm a stickler for time. And so our first individual to arrive tonight was LaPortia. So congratulations, you just won a gift card for lunch that you'll get on Thursday. The second individual, after I asked you all to turn on your cameras, was EJ. So you won a gift card. You will get that on Thursday. And I believe Drakesha was the first person to ask a question or do a comment. And so, Drakesha, you will be receiving a gift card this Thursday. And I'm gonna give one more. So you all can either use your mic or you could use the chat. First person I see or hear. What
Ah,
was the name of the book that she introduced today?
the Go Giver.
The Goal Giver. Good job. You will be receiving a copy of that book. I ordered that, and so you'll get a copy of that book. So I'm excited about this summer. I hope you all are excited about this summer. This is our first session of three. So we have two more sessions that's coming up. So we get to have Miss Tasha for the summer. So I'm excited, you all, if you all are looking to grow and expand your networking, your leadership skills. You definitely do not want to miss this. Well, it's 12:31, and I know a lot of you are on your lunch break. I want to end here. We'll be back here in a couple weeks. I believe our next event is July 8th, when we'll have another virtual session. For those of you who have not registered for this Thursday night, please go ahead and RSVP. We'll be at Wind Creek Casino at 5:15. They're going to give you a tour. They're going to talk about the job opportunities there, and then we'll go down to the play at the theater there in Wetumpka. So you don't want to miss that. I will see you there 5:15. It kicks off promptly at 5:30. You know how I am about time. So I will see you all this Thursday night. If you have any questions, send me an email. Have a wonderful night, you all. Wonderful day. Bye.